What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Katt on YouTube shit. Hey man, say man, we are lit to man. Turn to motherfucker. Hey, showing outside, big crip in the game, showing outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia, your thing, and Texas, stand the fuck up. Each day is going to be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring down, I'll step back. Never let somebody tell you who you are, boss. Never put yourself in a position of alone. Let's stay humble, let's go revolution on the movement. Keep yard first. Coming to the Black Hebrew Israelite as a real Jew. We out here. Alright. Boom. Today, two motherfucking days, showing outside, big crip in the game, showing outside shit, man. Turn out, and the gang go. Stay hitting outside shit, man. Hey, bro. So we got some shit that's going on, man. So this is what we about to talk about, bro. Katt Williams. You know Katt Williams got so much beef, man, that it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And we know that Katt do be exposing the fuck out of these niggas. You know what I'm saying? For what they really be doing. And how this industry really be. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, there be a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of blackballing. It's a lot of like, you know, if you're not doing weird freaky shit or goofy shit, like that go against your morals, you won't get into positions in high roles. But you know, when you're a real one, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do in this world, bro. Like, not do the real freaky shit, but like go the righteous path. It might take longer, or you know, you might get to where you get to, but a lot of shit you gonna have to turn down. You know what I'm saying? So Katt Williams, you know, he been breaking these rappers, these comedians and actors down, you know, for what's really been going on, man. And that's why I be trying to tell people, man, that a lot of times they just want to emasculate black men and black people in general. If they not emasculating you, if they not trying to make no humiliation bullshit about you, man, they don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? It's all a trap for us to like, it's like a rat race for us all to motherfucking crash out. You know what I'm saying? And they get back the money they gave us and use us for however long they can. But when you start waking up, when you start realizing that we are in control and we just gotta do the right thing to keep on waking people up and succeeding in our own way. And let's get into this bit. All right, gang. Shout out to Lou Extras, the victims of Katt Williams. Let's get into it, man.
If you're familiar with the world of comedy, then you definitely know the name Katt Williams. A stand-up comedian and actor celebrated for his electrifying energy and razor-sharp delivery. He's regarded as one of the most distinctive voices of his generation. Since breaking onto the scene in the late 90s, Katt has embraced a style that fuses storytelling, impressions, and harsh truths about reality, delivered with an energy that feels almost untouchable.
I'm gonna say something to you that sounds like a made it up, and it's really in the news. The FBI said they don't know who was at the White House. What? What type of investigation did you do? We don't know whose it is. It was in Hunter Biden's room. It said Hunter on the bag. What do you mean who's? It's crazy. Joe is doing the best he mother can. We done lowered the bar so low for Joe. As long as Joe don't fall, we be fine. Go on and get up them stairs, Joe. There you go. That's a ball.
So tasty, you could make Poseidon switch to us.
Making people laugh. Katt has also become infamous for the chaos that seems to follow him everywhere he goes. From multiple arrests, live show roast sessions, and even viral fights, Katt Williams has spent years building a reputation not just as a comedic genius, but as someone who leaves behind the long trail of victims that span from his fellow comedians, rappers, and even professional athletes.
Like, do you think Shaq could be a stand-up comedian? Who do you think?
I think that Shaq and Russell
Russell Simmons should get out of comedy and stay in their lane. They don't see us making a league of professional basketball players under 6 foot. So what qualifies these dudes because they got $100 million to go over in comedy and do Shaq's All-Star get out of here, you bum.
At times, Katt has even hinted at the darker side of Hollywood, long before those conversations became public knowledge.
Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting to party. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did. See, I got the receipts for everything I'm telling you. That's why I can say them so freely.
It's your boy Luesta, and today we're going to break down exactly why crossing Katt Williams might just be the worst mistake of your career. One person to learn this the hard way was the late great Wanda Smith, who got roasted so brutally that she not only lost her job, but the fallout even led to a gun being pulled out on the comedian. In the wake of her passing in October 2024, an old clip began resurfacing across social media. The infamous 2018 interview between Atlanta radio host and former comedian Wanda Smith and Katt Williams was started as Katt simply showing up to support his friend Red Grant and celebrate his Emmy win for Atlanta, quickly turned into one of the most diabolical roast sessions the internet has ever seen. But before things spiraled into insults, the conversation actually started on a very different note. The mood started off light, with the host asking Katt what it takes to make a great comedy special, and Katt reminding them that he has already dropped 9 of his own, more than almost anyone in the game, which were also all financed by himself.
So you've done 9 filmed comedy stand-up specials?
Without ever getting financed or having a deal with anyone.
You did them by yourself?
Yes, I own them 100%. I have the top 2 comedy specials on Showtime, HBO, Comedy Central, and we just moved to Netflix.
I didn't know that.
Nobody does. They don't promote it or sell the items after they come out because I own them, lock, stock, and barrel, and I don't have any Caucasian partners or people that invest. I'm 50. I've never had a bank loan or a car lease in my life.
Are you serious?
That's correct.
From there, the conversation shifted to Netflix deals, with Katt breaking down why comedians like Monique were underpaid, while Hollywood propped up names like Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, and Gerard Carmichael, even though, in his words, nobody was really watching their specials.
Let you do your special, Gerard Carmichael, but nobody's gonna watch it. They're gonna let you be a star, Lil Rel, but you ugly. And white people don't believe in ugly stars. They think you have to be somebody that women want to sleep with and men want to be. But because we black, they say, oh, you don't even deserve that. So you get Kevin Hart, Lil Rel, Gerard Carmichael, all in a row. Hannibal Buress, just dudes that no woman would talk to in Lenox Mall, let alone you making them movie stars. Why? Because you know ain't nobody gonna sleep with them. You only got Tiffany Haddish. She been doing comedy since she was 16. You can't tell me your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. Why? Because she ain't done a tour yet. She ain't done a special. She has not proven the ability to tell jokes back to back for an hour to nobody. And they already ready to down Monique and up somebody who has showed them Girls Trip. Did you think she wrote Girls Trip, goofball?
And this is where things started to take a serious turn, because once the talk shifted to Tiffany Haddish, Wanda started to push back. She didn't like how Katt dismissed her as someone who got lucky, rather than someone who earned her spot in the game. But the real sparks came later, when Katt turned his attention directly on Wanda, starting with a simple question where he asked how many kids she had.
How many kids you got, Wanda?
I have 3 boys.
Excellent.
Yes, I do.
From here, the tension began to escalate more and more, with each of Wanda's answers giving Katt more fuel to turn her into a laughing stock for the entire room.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
They like for me to I do a really nice broccoli. They like my broccoli and they love my baked chicken.
Hey, right now, look up your phone and see what it takes to make broccoli. And tell me
Salt and water, bitch.
That's the only step in broccoli, salt and water.
Salt and water.
Have you ever heard of burned broccoli? Can you burn broccoli? You can't burn it because it's made in a pot of water.
You don't know nothing about
Salt and water, bitch.
Second meal they love from it. What I do with corn.
Salt and water, bitch.
I put it in there. I got a can of water and I put it on there. And then I get some Zatarans. They don't expect that.
At least something. At least something, bitch.
Yes, ma'am. You good at heating stuff up.
As Wanda began to feel offended, she tried to get more personal. But little did she know this was the worst move to make against a comedian like Katt.
You're good at telling us about what's going on in jail.
Yes, ma'am, and getting out to tell you. But I'm going to tell you at an arena named Phillips, and you going to tell me at the Atlanta Comedy Theater.
Right.
When it comes to suspicious odors in your home,
Be there.
This was the breaking point. To Katt, mentioning his kids and dragging his criminal past into the conversation was crossing the line. And instead of letting
Feeling
things
some blood,
end
bitch.
peacefully,
You
she
gonna
poked the
talk
bear
about my
again
food head
right
ass.
before they were about to close out the show, provoking Katt to let the entire clip fly.
Get on out of here with that crazy ass.
Is he crazy?
And here up and get to the salon. All right, it's the People Station Viewer 3. Your hair is kind of...
My hair is 19 inches long, and I have no perm.
You don't.
Oops.
Oh, that's not a perm.
No, it is not. Nice lady.
That's natural.
Come run one of your gnarled fingers.
Why
you over there? So they can hear you
They
live.
got
Come
lunch
on,
lady,
come over here.
lunch
No,
lady
no, no.
hands.
That's not how that works.
Oh, okay. Well, then stay over there.
Don't worry. Ain't
They
nobody
got
putting
lunch
their
lady
hands
hands.
through yours.
That's right. They don't have to. I don't want them to. Get on out of here. You okay?
Only one of our hands moving while we talking.
Are you okay? And make sure
Wig and the
and
headphones
take
come
off
together.
them old ass clothes you got on. How about that? Yeah, they're old.
Versace, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's
She
just
said,
Versace.
I want to apologize to the people at Versace Collection. This is your 2019 summer line that hasn't come out.
But you had to open it up and
But-
show us it was
but
Versace. I wanted to.
No, I didn't have to open it up. These people are on radio. They can't see anything.
By the end, fans felt like this was the very reason why he would go down as a legendary comic. Wanda got cooked. Red Grant laughing
she
like
got
a hyena
roasted,
in the
bitch.
background. Katt
Throw
is
that bitch in a boiling
hyper-intelligent,
pot.
eloquently
The broccoli,
straight-talking, smooth operating artist
Look like ham
businessman.
hock, bitch.
He's one of a kind. But the embarrassment didn't stop there. As the clip resurfaced, people wondered why on earth he would go so hard on her, almost as if he came with a personal vendetta against her. But Katt stood by his decision to tear her apart, explaining that once Wanda brought up his family and then his criminal history, she crossed a line that, in his mind, made her roast well-deserved. And considering that they specifically agreed to not discuss it before the show went live, it only made things worse.
It was the fact that before I go in there, she has a conversation about, okay, now, I just want to talk to you because you just won an Emmy for the city of Atlanta, and this is in Atlanta, and they just want to hear about the Emmy and hear from you and to thank you for what you did putting the city on. And we won't talk about your kids. We won't talk about jail, no cases. We ain't going to talk about none of that. And immediately gets in there and goes the opposite way. You can't flip up on me because you're an inferior comedian. I'm going to destroy you, and I'm never going to call you out of your name. I'm never going to say anything disrespectful to people that look like you. It's a very thin line I got to call.
While most people thought this was just another instance of a comedian simply being hilarious, Wanda was about to make it clear that she didn't think it was all that funny. As just a couple of days after the interview aired, an angry and embarrassed Wanda allegedly told her husband to come confront Katt outside of a comedy club, leading to an incident where someone reportedly pulled out a gun on Katt. And you can argue that for this reason alone, Katt felt no remorse.
You did a number on that. That's
Oh,
legendary.
that's
No, you
wrong.
either believe in karma or you don't. Because I didn't even know any of the stuff that she had done to my fellow comedians until afterwards. I just know that it was a setup.
Right.
And remember, they tried to kill me this same weekend. Not in jokes, with a real gun in my real face on real
Man, these
camera.
bitches be haters,
Understand,
man. You
I'm
better watch out. These hoes
losing
be
my
haters,
life
nigga.
for
They try to take niggas out.
participating in something that goes along with my job. Like, it's two comedians. What do you mean?
Not long after, Wanda was let go from her job at V103 Radio, making what essentially began as a lighthearted interview end up derailing her entire career. But it raises the question, why does Katt get so defensive whenever his jail record is brought up? The truth is, jail has always been a sore spot for him. Because while Katt has left plenty of figurative victims in comedy, he's also left behind more than a few literal ones. For example, back in 2012, Katt Williams was arrested for allegedly smashing a bottle over another comic's head. Not long after, he was picked up again after he was accused of threatening to kill his own bodyguard. By 2016, the pattern hadn't slowed. He was arrested on a misdemeanor battery charge in Georgia after allegedly punching a pool supply store employee. And then, later that same year, things got even worse when Katt Williams got caught on video fighting a teenager, a fight that he allegedly threw the first punch in.
That shit wild. That shit wild. But that shit was so long, they still going to die over this shit?
Still, in 2016, Williams allegedly hurled a salt shaker at a restaurant manager in Atlanta, splitting the man's lip and landing yet another battery charge. And if that wasn't enough, during one of his own comedy shows, Katt stormed off the stage, walked straight into the crowd, and cracked an audience member over the head with his microphone.
Damn. Oh, shit, nigga. You can get it to the blend, bitch.
Finally, he was caught on camera slapping a Target employee before riding away in one of those little motorized shopping carts. A bizarre moment that ended up in yet another arrest. All of these incidents painted Katt as reckless, unhinged, and impossible to control. For years, people wrote him off as nothing more than a punchline. But in 2024, everything changed. In an explosive sit-down with Shannon Sharpe, a conversation that has now been watched over 90 million times, Katt finally took off the gloves. He made it his mission to expose every liar who had crossed him in the industry.
And the reason I had to come is because you made a safe place for the truth to be told. You know what I mean? And I have watched all of these lowbrow comedians come here and disrespect you in your face and tell you straight up lies. I'm talking about things that have never been heard in all of Black Hollywood. They feel comfortable sitting here lying to you about it.
It seems to me, Katt, that you had a lot to get off your chest.
No. You want to say the record straight. Winners are not allowed to allow losers to rewrite history.
That's a fact.
I don't say any of these things if my name is not breached by these people on your platform.
And when it comes to liars, there is one name that stood out more than most. If there's one thing Katt hates more than being interrupted or treated with disrespect, it's dishonesty. And one of the people he's called out the most for it is Faison Love.
I only put on comedians that are funnier than me. Anybody that ever told you this?
Welcome to the Vlad Catcher Show, the #1 show.
Was a fat Faison liar.
The beef stems all the way back to October 2012, when Faison Love accused Katt Williams of pulling out a gun during a heated argument about a $50,000 debt connected to a comedy tour. However, the funny thing is Katt's first time hearing about this was during an interview with paparazzi. But instead of denying the confrontation, Katt instead accused Faison of being a snitch for involving law enforcement and speaking to the media about the incident.
You know, he was saying you pulled a gun on him outside a supper club or something the other night. You know, some crazy stuff going on.
Wait. Are you mocking me right now?
No, I swear to God.
Wait a minute, you telling me Faison, the actor, said on TMZ that I did what?
That a gun was pulled
you saying he's a snitch?
Oh,
he's a bald-faced rat?
These are the allegations.
You said that he went and told you street business?
Hey, I'm just saying this is what's on our website. I'm just asking about that.
It's on the website already?
Yeah.
He also threw some fat jokes in for good measure.
We got in an altercation. He said some things. Then he called the police and the police came. They did a full investigation.
Yeah.
I was out, what?
Yeah, you were out quick. It was just kind of check you out. Nothing was going on,
He
right?
weighs 450 pounds. I weigh 140. If his story is that Katt Williams he had a problem with in a parking lot, then he just needs to explain why Katt Williams' face looks like this and he still weighs 450 pounds. I don't...
Since that moment, Faison spent the next decade making it his mission to drag Katt's name through the mud at every opportunity. He began claiming Katt wasn't authentic at all, and that he was nothing more than a gangster comedian putting on an act.
As promised, we want to talk to you about Katt Williams and his career. Oh, such a good guy. Such a good guy. So engaging, huh? What do you want to know about the guy? Such a sweet.
What do you think about where he is now and what he's going through?
Like I said before, he's not living his true destiny. You know what I'm saying? He's living this fake gangster. He got this whole persona from a friend of mine named Mac Minister, who was a real pimp who tried to do comedy, but he was a real pimp in Oakland.
Then, in another interview, Faison shifted the story again, this time claiming that the real reason behind their beef was simple. Katt was jealous of him.
We were going to do a tour, and he, you know, it was basically what we was talking about, that headliner stuff. But it's his show. But he says, I want you to open up. I'm like, cool. I actually felt, honored, like good, because I'm just getting back in the game, you know what I'm saying? But he couldn't handle that heat. It was heat. I was shooting heat. Boosh. And I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, I remember one time we were in Vegas. He came from his dressing room because the crowd was, when the crowd goes crazy.
Stomping feet and everything.
You see him coming out with some chicken in his robe, like, what? Get him off stage.
Wow.
Which, based off this comment alone, people weren't buying that story at all. But what made matters worse is that in this same interview, he threw out another crazy accusation, claiming that Katt Williams might be gay.
So y'all were cool, though. Y'all were cool up until the whole thing.
Listen, you a brother doing positive things.
Yeah.
I'm not, don't. He wants, like I say, he's something else. I mean, if he just come on out of that thing and just be who he is, come out of that closet, you know what I'm saying?
By this point, most interviewers only brought Faison on because they knew he'd expose Katt Williams. But over time, his entire narrative became less about comedy and more about tearing Katt down. He was like a loud, annoying fly that just wouldn't stop buzzing in your ear. And deep down, you know that the only way to silence it is to swat it for good. So in 2024, during the middle of his Club Shay Shay interview, Katt finally decided it was time to swat the fly and debunk some of Faison's biggest lies once and for all.
I played a lot of characters, 60 movie roles. I'm not playing Katt Williams in there. You would have to have a range. Like, you're trying to create a character. You can't just be Faison in every movie. Like, you just gonna take your shirt off on every movie? Like, why does it say that in your script?
Man, let Big Worm live. Let him breathe, Katt. Call him out now.
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
And after it was all said and done, the general consensus was that Katt Williams thoroughly exposed Faison for not only being an inferior comedian, but also an inferior actor. And to add a little cherry on top, it also later revealed that he now has a
not easy being the one everyone
is on. This final response closed the chapter on their beef and successfully helped him take down a liar. But with Faison finally out the way, Katt's work was far from finished. His next big target was another heavyweight in Cedric the Entertainer, and this time, it wasn't just about petty insults. Instead, it was a case of Cedric stealing one of Katt's best jokes, and then going on to lie about it.
Right, so he thought that I was just a no-name comedian and that he could take this joke and nobody would know.
Right.
The issue was that I had already done this particular joke on BET's Comic View twice.
Right.
It had done so well on BET's Comic View that they had made it part of the commercial. So part of the commercial of make sure you tune in to BET was you seeing me doing this joke.
Right.
And this joke is one of those jokes in comedy where you set it up and it takes a little longer to set it up, takes about 3 minutes, but then you're just hitting them with jokes after that because you don't have to set it up.
Right.
Mark Curry had already helped me work on this joke because I thought it was good because I was getting a standing ovation on it. He had me go back in the lab to help me craft it to be an even more powerful joke. So this is not just a random joke. This is my very best joke, and it's my last joke, and it's my closing joke.
Okay.
You see, Katt Williams has long accused Cedric the Entertainer of lifting one of his signature bits from the late 90s. Even before this interview, Katt Williams has been claiming for years that when he was a young comic, Cedric the Entertainer stole one of his biggest jokes. The joke's premise was pretty much how black people listen to their music so loud that they can't even hear when their cars turn off. However, in Cedric's version of the joke, it completely changes the premise, instead making it about how black people would fly a spaceship. So we thought that would be his saving grace. But when you watch both of them do the joke, you can clearly see Cedric literally copying Katt's exact arm movements. They both start the physical comedy part of the joke, bouncing to the music the same exact way. Next, they both turn the wheel in the same very, very exaggerated manner. And lastly, in Katt's version of the joke, his car breaks down. Therefore, he has to get out and direct imaginary traffic around him while he fixes it. Yet, guess what? In Cedric's joke, he directs traffic too, even though in his premise he's flying a spaceship. If Cedric had slipped this routine somewhere in the middle of his set, maybe it could have been brushed off as a coincidence. But the fact that he used it as his closer, the same exact way that Katt did, it made it hard to argue it wasn't lifted. So, when Shannon Sharp finally pressed him on the accusation, Cedric's response was this.
I mean, Katt say you stole one of his jokes. Yeah, like, I mean, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? It was like the idea of the joke that he was even talking about don't even match up with no timeline. So for me, it was one of those things like... Did you have a conversation? Did you guys sell it? Did you have a conversation with Katt? Well, I responded to him the way he responded to me, but that's what I said as well. I've seen Katt, you know, even before then, right. I've seen this guy 30 times. Like, dog, if you literally was that upset about it. Like, dog, why you me say, hey, yeah, why you say nothing? Like, that don't even make sense. This is some internet shit, and that's all I can say. So, you know, when I responded to him, he didn't respond back to me, and I left it at that.
But Katt Williams claims he lied.
1998, I'm doing this joke. It's on Comic View. Cedric comes to the Comedy Store. He watches me in the audience. He comes backstage. He tells me what a great job I did and how much he loves the joke. 2 years later, he's doing that as his last joke on the Kings of Comedy, and he's doing it verbatim. He's just changed my car into a spaceship.
And not only did Katt feel like he lied based on the footage we compared earlier, but the vast majority of online users were on Katt's side. The cool thing is Katt gave Mark Curry credit for helping him refine his joke, while Seed won't give Katt credit for inspiring his joke. As I get older, I'm realizing you can't really judge a book by its cover. Katt Williams is many things, but he is not a liar. So, just like with Faison, you can tell that Katt had been holding this disgust in his chest for a while now, and he went berserk.
Him and Steve had already apologized for me, so I gave him a pass for a decade. Why would you sit here and be like, I saw Katt 30 times, and Katt didn't do, as I stand before you, Shannon, I would have bust Cedric's stomach. There was nothing that would have kept me from one of these in that patch right there. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you downplay me like that? Why did I give you a pass if you were just gonna lie? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, they're all a group, but I promise you this. If he sees me again before he sees you, he'll be talking different when you see him. That's for certain. That's the difference. That's what these comics understand, is that I'm not doing nothing for clout. I don't even recognize clout. But eventually the Lord is gonna let me and you be in one hallway. I'm just saying, I can't let these dudes lie. Cedric's sitting here telling you why he ain't a movie star. He over here look like a walrus. You didn't say nothing. He can't even get his arms off his stomach sitting over here. Why I'm not a movie star. He never wrote anything. Remember, when Cedric the Entertainer starts, he's supposed to be singing, dancing, and telling jokes. Found out he can't sing, can't dance, and doesn't write jokes. He did 4 comedy specials. They're so bad, Shannon, they're not available on Netflix or Tubi. Can I say that again for the audience? They're so bad that they're not available on Netflix or Tubi.
So once again, another liar has been taken down in glorious fashion. But while Katt's beef with Cedric came from stolen material, his feud with Michael Blackson was rooted in something far pettier. Lies, jokes, and grudges that had been festering since Friday After Next.
Now, new customer.
Going for both of them. Katt's role as Money Mike became legendary, instantly catapulting him into the spotlight.
That's all right. My name is Money Mike, player. How you doing? All right, Ben. Don't squeeze hard.
Michael Blackson, on the other hand, had his moments as the angry African customer, the guy who storms in yelling, I can't get jiggy with this shit.
I can't get jiggy with this shit. Where's your damn manager? That pink motherfucker.
The difference is that while Money Mike had made Katt a star, Blackson's role became more of a meme. Then in 2021, Blackson added fuel to the fire on Drink Champs, joking about Katt fighting a 10-year-old and smoking crack in those same viral clips we showed earlier. While still being so lovable, Hollywood let him get away with it.
Look at Katt Williams. Katt on fought a 10-year-old kid, smoke crack and everything. And if anybody with me black boys, Katt, but Katt is so likable and so lovable, Katt could go out and do a movie, do whatever he wants.
By the time they crossed paths on Wild 'N Out in 2022, Katt hadn't let it go. According to Blackson, Katt verbally attacked him on set, leaving everyone, including Nick Cannon, surprised there was even beef.
Katt Williams, since we're in my career today, I want to know what's shorter, you or my scene next Friday?
All of your scenes are small.
I don't like it.
And he doesn't like you either.
Okay. I hope none of your dreams come true when I saw that.
They already did. Go away. I just want to know from you personally, OG, who you think carried the Friday series? Is it you? Is it Mike Katt? Or is it Michael Blackson? It's a 2-part answer. Number 1, Michael Blackson has never carried anything.
On taping, Michael Blackson jumped on social media to explain his side of the story. He admitted that comedy for him always comes with roasting, which is why he thought that his comments on Drink Champs about Katt were actually a compliment. In his words, I thought I made a compliment, but most of my compliments come with a little roast because that's what I do. Katt took it as an insult, and I had no idea he was still mad until we met on the taping of Wild 'N Out yesterday. He went on to say that even Nick Cannon and the rest of the cast didn't know that there was tension. We ended up on opposite teams, and all of his jokes towards me were insults on my career. While I tried to keep my jokes towards him on his height and permed hair, I tried to keep it fun so people won't know we had a problem with each other. But of course, Blackson couldn't resist sneaking in a jab. That midget kept going hard. Since you're only 4 foot 9 inches tall, I'm gonna be the bigger person and try to squash this. Finally, he reminded fans that he and Katt go way back. From the Friday movies, to Repos, to Meet the Blacks, and even touring together. And he left things open-ended, saying, let me know how you want to handle this, Katt. I'm down with a versus on stage. Or you can just fight my 15-year-old son. But when Katt sat down with Shannon Sharpe, it was clear he wasn't interested in making amends. When asked if he's ever been booed, Katt said yes. Then added that not enough comedians get booed, and that's when he dropped the hammer.
Most comedians don't get booed enough. I mean, this is how you end up with a Michael Blackson, who's a real African doing a fake African accent.
Katt piled on, saying he once told Blackson to ditch the dirty dashikis and step his game up if he wanted to be taken seriously.
This guy is mad at me. All I did was give him the best advice of his life. Remember, he was wearing dirty dashikis, and I told him he needed to dress to be in the position that he's trying to say that he's in. And if you're the African king of comedy, sir, there's actually comedians in Africa doing comedy. If you're going to say that, you got to go to Africa and get a school, dude. Everybody got, you got to put in some work. And these guys, they take my advice, they change their whole persona, and then they hate me for it.
In Katt's eyes, Blackson ignored his advice and then hated him for it. Of course, Blackson fired back on X, insisting his accent was real and joking that the only thing real about me is my deek. He admitted that Katt was a top 10 comedian of all time, but finished with his own jab. He's not the Katt of 2005. So, what started as two comedians sharing the screen in Friday after the next ended up in a years-long petty feud, and yet another name added to Katt's list of victims. Now, in this Club Shay Shay interview, not only did people like Steve Harvey and Tyler Perry also catch some mean strays that we'll talk about in a second, but it also garnered so much attention because, in it, Katt Williams fully exposed the conspiracy behind how black men are treated in Hollywood, and the exposure.
It's the NBA on Prime.
Mike in the movie Friday After Next was originally in the script supposed to be sexually assaulted.
The truth of the matter is, the Money Mike in the original script got ripped in the bathroom, and that's what Ricky Smiley was okay with. Katt Williams had to take the risk in front of the studios and the cast and our powers that be in his very first movie and say respectfully, guys, if we talk about anything else, I have no credibility and I have no pull. But we're talking about comedy, where I have all the credibility and all the pull. The problem with Friday After Next is we're trying to make a classic comedy, and this comedy involves a rap, and rap is never funny, no matter who it happens to or what the circumstances are. If you would allow me to allow us to do this movie without a black man getting rapped in it, I promise you that it will be twice as funny as it would be with him getting rapped.
This is a conspiracy that Katt claims to happen in Hollywood every time a black man reaches a certain level of fame, power, or wealth. They face targeted humiliation, career sabotage, or image control.
All of these shortcut takers, they've canceled me for talking about Harvey Weinstein before the thing came out, but he offered to suck my in front of all my people at my agency. What am I supposed to do? He did all of that. I'm thinking I'm the only black person on the script. I get there, it's 3 other black guys on there.
So you wonder what they did?
I told him no. What y'all do?
Otherwise known as Hollywood's plan to emasculate black men.
Have we decided on anything?
Yes, I have a white wine.
Okay. And for you, miss? Can I get a beer? Can I have a beer? He had like he's seen a baboon or something.
In And the part of this conspiracy that Katt talked about the most was the idea that over the years, powerful Hollywood figures have been pressuring successful black male actors into wearing dresses for movie roles as a symbolic act of humiliation or emasculation. With some of the most notable examples being Martin Lawrence in Big Mama's House, Eddie Murphy in Norbit, Tyler Perry in Medea, Wesley Snipes in Tu Wong Fu, and Jamie Foxx in Living Color. Yet, not only did Katt talk about this problem, but Dave Chappelle has too.
I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist to a degree. Like, when I connect dots
they
that
want
maybe
black
should be
niggas to be
connected,
gay,
I don't
man.
know. But certain dots, like when I see that they put every black man in the movies in a dress at some point in their career, I'll be connected with them. Like, wow, these brothers gotta wear a dress. That's happened to me. I'm doing a movie with Martin. The movie's going good. I walk in the trailer. I'm like, man, this must be a wrong trailer because there's a dress in here. They come in, the writer comes in. I think he's a writer. He's like, Dave, listen, you got this hilarious scene where Martin's sneaking out of jail. So he disguises you as a prostitute. And he put this dress on. And, what? A prostitute? Nah, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with it. That should have been in a discussion. What? You don't feel comfortable with it? I mean, it's a hilarious bit. All the greats have done it. Oh, well, all the greats have done it. It's kind of hacky, right? You're right. So why don't we just not do it? I don't feel comfortable wearing a dress. Oh, come on, Dave. Listen, we got it all set up. We're supposed to shoot. Every minute you waste costs this much money. No, the pressure comes in. He said, I'm not wearing no dress, man. I'm funnier than a dress. Just give me something funny to say. I don't need to wear no dress to be funny. I'm Milton Berle. You know, we're going like this. And then finally it's like, and he leaves. And then like the director comes, Dave, it really would be great if you wear the dress. What's wrong? What is this?
Oprah Winfrey knows exactly what the fuck he was talking about.
However, where Dave and Katt differ is that Katt took things a step further by blaming some of the stars that enabled the industry to continue doing this, and even claimed it was the reason for their success. He directly blamed people like Tyler Perry and Rick Smiley by sarcastically saying,
he was so egregious that, and Hollywood has never heard this in 100 years. He was so egregious, I put in my contract that I won't work with Ricky Smiley again unless he's in a dress. Now, what was Ricky Smiley's next movie? Was it First Sunday? Did he wear a dress in it? You bet he did. It's in my contract.
Why would you put that in your contract, Katt?
That's where he's the unbelievable actor. Him and Tyler Perry can't play a man to save their life. They play good women, and I believe that the best actor should be in the best role.
And Katt's issue with them isn't rooted in envy. In his view, and in Dave Chappelle's as well, their willingness to repeatedly play roles in a dress doesn't just affect their own careers. It actively fuels an industry pattern that continues to humiliate and emasculate successful black men. Katt has also been isolated from mainstream Hollywood because of how he feels it often fails to uplift the black talent in authentic, respectful ways.
I'm in a weird position as a person in Hollywood, I'm saying anyway, but just because of the amount of truth that I will tell and the fact that I take joy in it. And there's no way that you can tell that much truth without offending certain portions of the population. And so now you have to figure out how you're going to handle that. And at 5'5", I've always handled it fist first, so that I'm always addressing whatever the problem is to nip it in the bud. And as a professional and as somebody that now where I stand, I can no longer do that. Those are just the breaks.
So to explain this phenomenon even deeper, Katt moved on by giving a direct example of how the industry enticing black men to humiliate themselves in order to reach superstar level by dissecting Kevin Hart's entire career.
15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. He already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading? No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plant is?
When Katt sat down for this interview, one of his biggest targets was Kevin Hart. He broke down Hart's career as nothing more than Hollywood handouts, alleging Kevin as an industry plant who sold his soul and took roles that Katt refused because of how humiliating they were.
He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Kevin told you he wasn't gonna wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decisions, duh. But you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you?
And from the looks of it, the new pope is not Turkson. The new pope is 9-year-old Oscar nominee Kavenzhane Wallace.
For a 5-year period, every single movie that Kevin Hart did was a movie that had been on my desk. That all I had said was, just can we take some of this step and fetch it shit out, and then I can do it. Like, it don't need to be overtly homosexual, because I'm not homosexual, right? It doesn't need that to be funny, right? And me saying that and them going, oh yeah, no problem, and then going to give it to this other guy and having him do it just like it was, and acting like I'm a bad person because I keep standing on my standard. But yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
But this wasn't a brand new claim. Their feud actually stretches back a full decade. It all started in 2014, when Katt was asked who the funniest athlete was. Instead of answering, he roasted Shaq
Tasty?
for trying comedy, and then slipped Kevin's name into the fire.
Do you think Shaq could be a stand-up comedian? Who do you think?
I think that Shaq and Russell Simmons should get out of comedy and stay in their lane. They don't see us making a league of professional basketball players under 6 foot. So it qualifies these dudes because they got $100 million to come over in comedy and do Shaq's All-Star Get Out of Here, you bum.
By 2016, things escalated. On his conspiracy theory tour, Katt told a packed crowd at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta that Kevin was nothing more than a puppet, and used one of his most famous analogies to drive it home.
So I've already proven that if the best they got in comedy is Kevin Hart, don't you black men work hard, baby. Even if that nigga's a puppet, it's not his fault. Don't get mad at me. Get what I'm saying? Just because I'm better than some black dudes don't mean I'm better than no black dudes. If you want to be mad at Kermit the Frog, don't be mad at Kermit the Frog. Be mad at Jim Henson. Don't say fuck Donald Duck when you really mean fuck Walt Disney. So I don't care nothing about what happens to Kevin. I wish him the best. I just know that somebody's hand stuck up that baby. You understand? So
By March 2016, Katt took it even further. Right before a stop in Kevin's hometown of Philly, he issued a $5 million challenge.
I got a show at your hometown in Philly. I'm gonna take my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full court basketball court, a boxing ring, 2 microphones for a rap cipher, or you can get your ass dusted in comedy on that stage. But it's $1 million up for each one. That's $5 million, Mr. 28 million in Forbes. I'll be bringing mine in cash. Mitch, bring yours however you want. And since you're not a puppet, don't bring no white people with you then.
But here's the twist. In the same year, he actually apologized. On Atlanta radio, Katt admitted he went too far, calling Kevin the reigning king of comedy, and saying it was regrettable that he tried to embarrass another black man when the country was already divided. Of course, the truce didn't last. It reignited in 2018 when Katt dragged Tiffany Haddish on Wanda Smith's show. This prompted Kevin to come to her defense on The Breakfast Club.
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood. Hollywood this, the white man, this, and this. When do you take responsibility for your actions? You were set up to be the star. You didn't show up to work. You off promo shoots. You off your promo trips that they had set up for you. You became a risk to the studios, which is why the studios stopped you.
Why was he a risk?
He chose drugs.
Oh, okay.
Take responsibility for what you chose and say, you know what? I gotta fix me, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna stand up for comedy.
Breakfast Club was
From there,
owned
the
by
feud never
Revolt.
cooled off. In 2021, Katt even said a comedy versus against Kevin would be cheating, bragging that his 10 specials in Emmy made him untouchable. So when Katt went on Club Shay Shay and delivered one of his harshest shots yet, Kevin quickly responded on X. Gotta get that anger out ya, champ. It's honestly sad. And to twist the knife, the very next day he went on ESPN and clowned Katt's claim of reading 3,000 books a year.
He figured out how to play basketball from reading all the books.
3,000 of them. 3,000 a year.
And that's 2 a day. At 6 years old. That's 2 a day. Who knew he was so voracious?
At the age 7, he got accepted to I think it was Delaware University.
Yeah.
Never made public news.
No. Ever.
But for Katt, this has never been about jealousy. After all, he once even took Kevin's ex, the mother of his child, on tour with him. The truth is, just like Tiffany Haddish, Katt sees Kevin as a product of Hollywood gatekeepers, the kind of system that lets a chosen few in, while locking everyone else out. And Kevin wasn't the only one, because right after, Katt turned his sights to another so-called comedy giant, Chris Rock. Katt Williams wasn't shy about making enemies in 2016. And one of his biggest names he set sights on was Chris Rock.
I meant to cut the head of the snake. So my special will no longer be in Philly. It'll be in New York at the Barclays, where I cut off the head of Chris Rock.
In the eyes of Katt, he believes Chris Rock is the official face for black comedians who sell out in order to make it big. During an interview on the Chicago Morning Takeover, Katt didn't hold back, implying Chris Rock was a full-on sellout while firing brutal shots at his character, image, and even his personal life.
What's your beef with Chris Rock?
The king of coons, number one. He doesn't like black women, number two.
King of coons, nigga, you got a couple of king of coons out too.
Number three. He would put his own brother on who has his same name, number five.
We got a couple of king of coons out too, big goofy ass, coon ass,
little
coon
African
cracker
baby
ass
that he
nigga,
pretended he was raising, number six.
bozo ass nigga.
I always saw Chris Rock was one of the persons that stood up for black people in this game. I'm not interested in what people think. I'm interested in telling the truth.
This wasn't just a random outburst either. Earlier that month, during a stand-up set, Katt explained that when he shaded Kevin Hart, he actually meant to aim his fire at Chris Rock instead. Because, in his words, Rock was the head of the snake, especially when it came to sellouts.
I could have done him already. I just chose not to. I chose to do Kevin instead of him.
And that wasn't true? That's why you apologized?
It wouldn't have killed the snake.
So when you say that he's your next target, though, what does that mean? Like, you have him?
It means what it means. What do you, my next target, mean?
No, my question for you is, if you let me get to the question is, are you going to be having stand-up
no more, like it meant with Steve Harvey? So Chris Rock will be retiring from stand-up, like Steve Harvey did, never to return again.
Right.
Wow. Chris Rock, meanwhile, didn't respond with words.
Steve Harvey
Instead,
on
he clapped
vacation.
back in his own way, posting an old photo of the two of them together on Instagram with the caption, "It's Old Picture Thursday." It was short, subtle, and just dismissive enough to let fans know he wasn't taking the bait. Not much was said from both parties after. However, Katt continued on with his verbal assault after Will Smith smacked him in front of the full view of the entire world. On top of believing it was rehearsed and planned, he also thinks that Chris Rock did it to receive a $50 million Netflix deal after, saying that Rock was a perfect target because his face was so slappable.
Not Will Smith and Chris Rock. These are when two large boulders come together, and you can't see Chris Rock winning at all. He's humiliated. If you were gonna slap a comedian, he was the number one to slap. So slappable.
And
if you're gonna slap him, you just need the greatest guy, the bestest guy, the one who's shown us him being on his best behavior since the 90s. That guy is the one that will have to slap in order for the type of ratings we need and attention to be on this thing.
The next person he lined up was Tyler Perry. As I briefly referred to earlier, Katt
they got so much ammo. They got ammo for
because they tell you that there's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same people open the gate. What do you mean ain't no gatekeepers? There's 100 gates out here. Everyone I've seen got a keeper.
Therefore, Katt Williams proceeded to call out these gatekeepers by name, starting with the media mogul Tyler Perry. He directly accused Tyler of being a gatekeeper who doesn't help elevate black people to a level anywhere close to where he's at.
You know what I mean? He ain't put nobody on. The people that been in his productions, they not famous. All of them can walk through the mall without security. Be what you gonna be, but put your people on. If you a gay person and you in there, put some other gay people on. Put somebody on. Or don't be wondering why people keep saying gatekeepers. Because clearly, y'all are keeping these gates. Clearly.
From there, after tearing into Tyler Perry, Katt turned his attention to another one, this time within the comedy world, his target, Steve Harvey, or as Katt likes to call him, Mr. Potato Head. Katt claims Steve has always been more concerned with protecting his own status than helping the culture progress. In Katt's mind, a true veteran's job is to open doors for the next generation, not slam them shut to keep the spotlight for himself. He also felt like Steve Harvey often undercuts other black comedians. For example, he boldly claimed that Steve never wanted to stand side by side with other
Trying to make
comedians
potato
unless he
head.
had the upper hand, and that's what led him to beefing with Bernie Mac. Looking back now, many fans feel Katt had a point. It's long been rumored that during the Kings of Comedy tour, which featured Bernie Mac, Cedric the Entertainer, and Steve Harvey, tensions flared behind the scenes. Bernie said about raising kids became iconic, and he was often seen as the breakout star of the tour.
You know, no, I can't believe the fucking kids. Everybody talking about kids. Everybody talking about how bad kids is. You know it's bad. But see, you can't say kids bad. I say it for you. These motherfuckers bad.
That's a fact.
I will fuck a kid up.
That's a fact.
Don't get mad at me. I'm just saying what you can't say. You feel the same goddamn way I feel.
Bernie's set was so strong that both audience and critics agreed he regularly stole the show, and reportedly, that didn't sit well with Steve, who, despite being billed as the headliner each night, found himself constantly being overshadowed. Just like Katt claimed, rumors spread that Steve resented Bernie's shine, especially since he leaned into a more family-safe style of comedy, while Bernie's raw and unfiltered approach connected on a deeper level with the crowd.
See, the first year, it was just me, Bernie, and Sid.
Okay.
And coincidentally, it was around that same period of time where Bernie Mac landed the Bernie Mac Show on Fox, which was an instant commercial success. Meanwhile, there were rumors brewing again about how Steve felt Bernie was stepping on his lane by making movies and TV in Hollywood, which Bernie later came out and said that he was hurt, ultimately resulting in the Kings of Comedy going separate ways.
We split up.
You wish you would have stayed and kept it together, could have kept it together a couple.
We tried everything. But, you know, dudes felt like they was movie stars. I never saw myself as a movie star.
I was going to ask you that. Because you kind of like stayed in your lane. You see Sid branched off, Bernie did movies. You kind of stayed. I mean, you had a couple of roles, but that didn't seem to be your passion. That didn't seem to be where you wanted to go.
Never read for a movie, man. Didn't care nothing about it.
Yet, in Katt's eyes, it's ridiculous that Steve could ever feel he has the authority on what someone like Bernie can or can't do, or to even refer to himself as a king of comedy, because of how unfunny he truly is. So once again, Katt Williams went berserk.
Imagine him coming to tell you another story where he got so big and it was Bernie and them's fault because they wanted to be movie stars. What? You called Ocean 11 to get that part? What do you mean you didn't want to be a movie star? And now that he gone, you gonna act like he wanted to be a movie star. You stop it. You stop it. That man was funnier than all of y'all, and y'all thought y'all had one over on him. You thought he was black and ugly, and you were good looking, and he couldn't make it because you did. And that ain't the way comedy works. The king is the funniest. Period. Every time. And that's why no audience member was ever swayed.
And it didn't stop there. After Katt got done exposing Steve's gatekeeping ways, he then proceeded to tell the world that despite what Steve Harvey claims, he didn't actually quit stand-up because he was on too many TV shows. He really quit 16 years ago because he lost a comedy battle to Katt Williams.
I can't do that because Steve told you that he stopped doing stand-up because he had 7 TV shows. The only problem is when he stopped stand-up, he didn't have those 7 TV shows. He stopped stand-up because he got in a comedy battle called the Championship of Stand-Up Comedy with one Katt Williams in Detroit in front of 10,000 people and lost because Katt Williams said he was actually bald and that was a wig. And I went in and that's why he couldn't do stand-up anymore. He's an excellent comedian. One of the finest we've ever had. But he don't want no parts of this in any way, shape, or form. This is some other shit. I don't know why he came out here with all this money y'all spent on that motherfucking dance. And talked about a lady in the audience for 15 minutes. That nigga should have talked about me the way I've been talking about his bitch name. Nigga, the fucking Bitcoin championship, my nigga.
Nigga still got gorilla glue on his forehead and shit. Oh shit, the Jerry curl juice, bitch.
For Katt, this was the moment he officially slayed Mr. Potato Head. And by revisiting it 16 years later in the Shannon Sharpe interview, he finally etched Steve Harvey's name into his long list of victims. And just when you thought Katt was finished with comedians, he decided to step out of Hollywood's comedy circle altogether. His next target, none other than Ludacris. And instead of jokes, Katt took things straight into Illuminati territory. One of the wildest moments on Katt's Club Shay Shay interview came when he dragged Ludacris into the mix, accusing him of literally selling his soul to the Illuminati in exchange for Hollywood success. According to Katt, both he and Luda were in the running for a role in Too Fast, Too Furious, but instead of it being about talent, Katt claimed it came down to a bizarre ritual.
So there was a crossroads where we were
He
both
came out made like a little rap
to
ass,
an Illuminati thing, and it had to be one or the
Cat.
other of us, and decisions had to be made. So it was both of us, we were equal. One of us had to cut off all their hair and couldn't do the sideburn thing no more with the points. And the next person, they said, was going to get $200 million because they were going to pay him $10 million a movie to do 20 movies. Now, one person ended up with a light-skinned, ugly-faced wife that's never done it. Remember I told you that if I say that, it applied to 7 people? Yes. It's part of what they give you, okay? I didn't get it. I'm not mad about it.
How much money they give? 200.
Sir, Fast and Furious is on what number right
10.
now?
200 million. I might get me one of the more women. Look saved.
That's what they all end up saying at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Kevin told you he wasn't going to wear no dress until they offered him the dress, and then he put it on. And what did he say after he wore it? I made my own decision. Duh, but you didn't make it before they brought it up, did you? It's okay.
But Ludacris didn't just let it slide. First, he fired back the best way a rapper knows how, with a freestyle. Over Kanye's Devil in a Dress, Luda flat out denied any Illuminati ties, as well as a few jabs at the comedian's expense.
See the pendulum swing, Jesus with diamond thorns, Ludacris. Swaddled in Gucci linens when I was born. Never been Illuminati, only Illuminati. And I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm married with kids, the evolution of life. Never been a clout chaser, never say shit for life. R.I.P. John Singleton. You never have to flex when you earn every one of your Fast and Furious check. Afro with the sideburn. Yeah, that's my signature. Addictions on the rise. Comedians check your temperature.
Before then appearing on Drink Champs, where he didn't necessarily mention Katt by name, but seemingly was referring to him, claiming it's basically all love.
You understand why I try to take the high road, and always I'm cool because my core is strong, and I'm okay with taking these jabs because I hope whatever it is that these motherfuckers that take jabs at me are trying to accomplish, I hope that they've accomplished that shit. You know why? Because it has not hurt or put a dent in my legacy or me in any fucking way. So I allow them to do that because at the end of the day, I still love these motherfuckers. There's still a certain amount of history that we have with each other that if I stand on a certain amount of morals and integrity and just love, I haven't come to a point where I'm wanting to do tit for tat and bicker and babble and go back and forth with motherfuckers. Because when I see you in person, it ain't shit like what the was just talking about on camera. It's totally different. Yes.
At this point, it's clear that Katt is prone to making enemies. The irony is that whether or not every word Katt says is true, fans will always rally behind him, because he's one of the few comedians bold enough to challenge the industry head on. For better or worse, that's what makes Katt Williams truly dangerous. It isn't just his sharp wit or his skill with words. It's the fact that no matter what he says, the people love him, and more importantly, they believe him.
Alright, we back. So you see from that motherfucker, bro, that Katt Williams been telling the truth about what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers, you know, like when they see them numbers, bro, niggas, you never know what these niggas be doing. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I can't blame them niggas, you know what I'm saying? Because, like, this world is crazy place, especially if you don't have no people to tell you the truth or tell you what's really going on, man. Like, I'm talking about, like, you go to church or you just go, like just know what's really going on. Like, you don't really know what's out here. You know, you fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? Stand for nothing, fall for anything. So it's like, if you ain't really have nobody or you just don't have that type of in you, you'll do whatever it do. You know what I'm saying? But when you understand that that's what they count on us to do. You know what I'm saying? And once we start breaking them chains and the cycles, you know what I'm saying? That's when we start waking up people and we can start actually helping people out in real ways and not just the system, because the system don't give a fuck about us. The system is gonna throw us away at the end. When you are organic and you got people who really support you, they can try to do whatever they want to do. But the computer didn't make you. The machine didn't make you. You know what I'm saying? You came out organic. So you just gotta remember that don't be no fool or a puppet out here on these streets, because the demons and demonic figures out here, that's what they count on. So you gotta be smart. When we out the bitch, hood and outside, big crip in the game, outside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.